Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing another issue review. We're going to be looking at Cheetara number 2 by Sully and Domenico Carbone, and I think they're the only ones that really work on this, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, and this was a pretty great issue. I actually had a lot of fun with it, and I also want to mention that I love the way that these covers are. I think this is Sully's artwork, and it's really great. It almost looks like tarot cards to me, tarot or tarot. I don't know how to say that word, but it almost looks like that. And I find that to be very appealing. I think it looks great. It's very, very nice. And I'm really enjoying this story. I don't know how long this story is going to go for. I think there's really 1 or 2 issues left. I don't know if that's good enough or not. I'm really unsure about this, but I can't really see this being a 6-issue series or longer than that, because there is a clear endpoint, and that clear endpoint is coming soon. I'm just not exactly sure when it is, right? So yeah, it opens up on the mines of Thundera. It seems that these people are, mining for Thunderilium and the other one. I can't remember what it's called. The 2 metals that we know from the previous issue of Thundercats issue 6, where we know the Panther is out hunting for these metals. And they seem to be attacked by these giant cave spiders, right? Very Minecraft-esque. And I think it's pretty fun. They can't hold them back, so they call in the Thundercats, right? And all of these people show up. They're all the Thundercats. Only Panthro, Tigra, and Cheetara are the ones that we know, right? But there's more of them that are there at this time, back when they were at full strength. And they show up. And we have this really cool jump into action kind of shot, where we get to see them all there, land and take out these cave spiders, and that was really fun. I thought it was a nice bit of action there to start the issue. Then we come back to Cheetara, who has a vision, but is eventually okay. And I think that this is kind of dangerous because it was happening while they were fighting, right? So this is a problem. She's having these lapses in time and in judgment because of these interesting visions that she's having, right? So yeah, it turns out that she's okay this time. Then we move on to another interaction here. We get to see Lionel is training with some of the Thundercats, right? It's not just Cheetara and Panther and Tigra. It's a few other ones as well, and they're all there. They're all together, and Cheetara wants to push him harder. And I think at this point we get to see that Claudius and Jaga are also there, and they're like, it's okay. He's just a child. I know that you want to do your best by him and for him, but it's okay. It's not that big a deal, right? But I don't think that this is the correct, because we know what's going to happen, I kind of agree with Cheetara at this moment, right? But the thing is that Cheetara is really doing this without explaining anything to anyone, right? And so it's kind of hard to understand why she wants this to be done. We just know that she does, right? Or the characters within the story only know that she does want this. They don't know why. And so I find that interesting because it's supposed to be like a little bit of tension, conflict, but it kind of gets resolved really quickly by the end of the issue. So I'm okay with it. I think it was just, at the time of reading, it was pretty enjoyable at the moment when it showed up. Later, it's late at night. She goes to the temple because she wants to be in a place that's silent and peaceful and where she can think her thoughts through because she can't sleep. It turns out that she's not the only person there. She talks to someone else that seems to be some sort of custodian or janitor of the temple, and he gives her some advice. Listen to your heart, basically, is what it comes down to. And I'm not sure that Cheetara finds this helpful. I know I wouldn't, because I understand the sentiment behind it, but it's just like, that's not really useful, because if I do that, like I already know what I want. But the point is that I'm not sure that that's the correct thing to do, right? Like, that kind of advice isn't really helpful, but I kind of get it. It is supposed to be some sort of more nebulous kind of advice so that things make sense later, right? And then Cheetara goes to meet with King Claudius, and he warns her about, what this upcoming war that she sees, right? That her visions are giving her information about. And Claudius tries to calm her down, tell her to relax. We're in a really peaceful time. We see no upcoming wars. It's going to be okay. When she leaves, after she feels kind of slighted by Claudius's negation of her information, I guess, or him not taking her as seriously as she might want, we get to see that he is doing this as a way to calm her down. I don't necessarily know that that's the right thing to do, but he immediately gets on to being a serious leader because he asks Jaga for his advice. He's like, is it true? Is she right? Is war coming? And he takes the matter seriously privately, which is kind of interesting because I'm not sure why. Is it because Cheetara is young and so he doesn't want to worry her with these greater than life kind of situations because he and Jaga can handle it? Or is it because even though she's a Thundercat, he doesn't trust her all the way? That's a bit nebulous to me. And maybe the point is supposed to be that Claudius is like a bit of an inept ruler because he's a peacetime ruler, but I'm not sure that that's the case either. So I'm a bit confused about the reasoning for this. I just think that there's like both a good thing that came out of this and also a bad thing in terms of like how Claudius handles the situation, right? So we'll see. Then in another scene, we get to see Cheetara and Lionel go on a little trip to the temple. They talk about the stuff there. It's kind of very similar to the beginning of the series where Jaga and Cheetara are going through the temple as well. And then we get to see that Lionel really likes the Sword of Omens and he wants to grab it. And Cheetara's like, hopefully you never have to. And then they go back to their house and they meet with Wily Cat and Wily Kit. And it turns out that these two kids are orphans, but it has been decided that Lionel needs companions of his own age. And so these kids are introduced to play with Lionel, to become friends with Lionel. And this is where their relationship comes from. I think that's cool. The thing is that there's two Thundercats that look like they could be Wily Kits and Wily Cat's parents. And it would have just been easier to make the Wily Kits and Lionel the next generation of Thundercats, right? And it didn't have to be these orphan kids. I think that might be their original story, but because this isn't supposed to be the original story, they could have just been the children of these characters, right? And it would have not really made too much of a difference. At this point, there is no reason for them not to be the children of these parents or of these people. So I'm not sure why it was chosen that they wouldn't be. But that might be because of my lack of knowledge of the Thundercats lore, right? So it is what it is. So the kids are sad when they have to leave, and hopefully they come back again, so that's good. And then Cheetara and Tiger have a moment together at night in this little area, and she shares her dreams with him, and she tells him, what's going on, and he listens to her, and the kind of story ends there with them, sharing this moment together. Then there's kind of this post-credit scene type thing where we get to see these evil mutants on a ship going on their way to Thundera, and this means that Cheetara's visions are true, that they are coming, and that no one is really prepared for what is to come, right? And so it leaves us in this kind of perilous situation where we're like unsure about what's going on, and I think I like that. I think it was a pretty good issue. I'm enjoying the way that the story is unfolding. It's a lot faster than Declan Shelby's take on Thundercats, so I'm liking that. There's a lot less action, but there's a lot of world building, and I think that this is really helpful for developing the Thundercats verse, the Thunderverse, right? I think that's what Declan Shelby called it today in an interview with Sal from Comic Pop. And so I think that it's good that it seems like he's working with Sully to make sure that this stuff is shown within her series in order to expand the universe and still make it this cohesive, single, storyline, if that makes sense. And I think that that's good. I'm really enjoying how this is going. I'm really liking Sully's Cheetara. So yeah, hopefully we get a few more issues of this, and then she moves on to drawing other things for the Thundercats, right? Or sorry, for writing other things for the Thundercats. It'd be nice to see her show up to have like a moment or two in the main story with Declan Shelby where we go back to Cheetara's dreams and, have her be the one that's leading the charge there. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later. So bye.